Well, did you see that Shohei Ohtani's dog was given a U.S. visa by the former mayor of Chicago, Rahm Emanuel? Yes, it's a wonderful thing that his dog Decoy got this U.S. visa at the embassy in Tokyo, and Rahm Emanuel took a picture of it, which, who gives a shit? I don't. But I thought it was a funny picture that, you know, him and the former mayor of Chicago, his brother is the character Ari from the show Entourage. So I thought that was kind of cool. So I said, hey, you know what, why don't I start up with that? Now, Bill Belichick is done. And from what I read, Robert Kraft didn't want him to leave in a trade as he came to them through that one day with the Jets, and no compensation. Supposedly the Falcons are interested in him. The Commanders are interested in him. I mean, we're going to see what happens. So there was mixed feelings about him, about Belichick. A lot of it they've said is because of, you know, Brady, and that his record without the guys, we're not. Andrew Filipponi put that last 5 years, 41-42, 0 playoff wins. That's much worse than Tomlin. I love them comparing, you know, his last 5 years. You know, how do you replace a legend, the GOAT? And Michael David Smith said, surprised how many takes I'm seeing along the lines of Bill Belichick would have been a great coach even without Tom Brady. Belichick was a head coach for 11 seasons without Brady. He was well below 500 overall, made the playoffs twice and won a playoff game once. He's going to be allowed to leave the team without compensation, as I said. There's interest, 24 seasons, 9 Super Bowl appearances, 9. 6 Super Bowl titles, 266, 120, regular season record, 30-12 in the postseason. Yeah, very impressive. Alan Hahn said, a coach that is impossible to emulate, a coaching tree that may never bear fruit, and a reign of terror over a league that will never be forgotten. The Brady-Belichick Patriots shook the Boston sports market out of its doldrums and sparked its greatest run. Doug Kyed said, might not have always seemed like it during many of the gruff answers and press conferences, but it was a completely joy to report on the Bill Belichick era in New England. How many people get to say that they covered the greatest head coach in NFL history? I got to ask him questions, pick his brain, learn from him, and cover playoff games and Super Bowls because of his coaching. He said, I was thinking on Monday, how many locker cleanups have I actually had to cover? Not many. Every season from 2014 to 2018 ended with a Super Bowl win or travel from a playoff game on Monday morning. Yeah, and Andrew Callahan said, the greatest coach of all time, the greatest quarterback of all time, and all-time playoff games, what more could you ask for? Not too much. And it got me thinking. You know how everybody's saying, well, if it wasn't for Brady. So Belichick, okay, 24 years, 9 Super Bowls with Brady. 9, 6-3. Lost to Eli twice, lost to the Eagles twice. Sean Payton and Drew Brees spent 15 years together. 15 years together. 1 Super Bowl. They won it. 1 Super Bowl in 15 years. Eli Manning, Tom Coughlin. Eli played 16 years. Him and Coughlin were together 12. 2 rings. 2 rings. 2-0 in Super Bowls. Marino, 13 years with Shula. 0 rings, 1 Super Bowl appearance. Peyton Manning, 13 years in Indianapolis. 2 Super Bowls, 1 ring. He got 7 years with Dungy. He got, I'm trying to agree. Do I have it here? Yeah. He got, 7 years with Dungy. He got, who's the other guy he was with? Well, he started 4 years with Jim Mora, 7 years with Dungy, and 2 years with Jim Caldwell. Went to 2 Super Bowls, won 1. Then he was 4 years with the Broncos, 2 Super Bowls in 4 years, won 1. Okay. You know, listen, I'm not saying even win, but you get to 2 Super Bowls. But you know, look at these numbers. Okay, so, you know, that's enough. These are all the great quarterbacks I'm going through. Aaron Rodgers, 18 years in Green Bay, 13 with McCarthy, 4 with Matt LaFleur, and 4 with Matt LaFleur. It's 13 years, 4 and 18, and I'm blanking on the other year, but 1 Super Bowl. 13 years with Mike McCarthy, 1 Super Bowl. Now, Rob and I were talking, he's kind of a diva and all that stuff, so that's something that could be brought into play. But that's okay, so that's another one. Think about that. Brett Favre, 16 years in Green Bay, 7 with Holmgren, 6 with Mike Sherman, 2 with McCarthy. 2 Super Bowls, 1 win. They went back-to-back. I thought they were good enough to beat the Broncos, but they did not. Yes, so that's another guy. Okay, so combine those 2 years played, the 2 guys played in Green Bay for 34 years, and they had 3 Super Bowls in 30, which, compared to other franchises, they take 3 Super Bowls. But it's not like they were winning, all the time. And Elway, 16 years, he had 10 years with Reeves. They went to Super Bowl 87, 88, 90, lost all 3. Then he had 2 years with Wade Phillips and 4 years with Shanahan. They won 2 in a row. But now he went to 5 Super Bowls in his career. Now he didn't win them all, but that's still 5 Super Bowls in 16 years. That's a lot of Super Bowls. I know he didn't win them, but that's 5 Super Bowls. That is a shitload compared to everybody else. I mean, he had as many combined as Favre, Rodgers, and Breeze combined. And if you add in Marino, because they went to 3, 4, and then when Manning at 6, I mean, think about all of them combined, how many they went to. Okay, so Peyton, Breeze 1, Manning, that's 3. Peyton went to 7, 2 and 2. Rodgers 8, Favre 10, 15, 15 combined Super Bowls with all those guys. And you're talking Belichick went to 9 in 24 years. And I don't think that's given enough credit. I don't care who his quarterback is. It's what you do with your time when you're there. And man, he did that. To me, that's very impressive. Very impressive. I was thinking about this stuff and I was like, I wanted to talk about it. It was something that was really pissing me off a little. Well, not pissing me off, but make me think today. Like, wait a minute, that's not 100%. That's not 100%. And I was trying to see if I could get on Tara Lynn. Oh, great! So I wanted to get Tara Lynn on. Her friend is in the Miss America pageant. I was like, awesome. I thought she was there today. So. Yeah, another time. So I wanted her to come up. She is a huge Bama fan, and I wanted her to come on and we could talk about that. That's what I wanted to talk about today. Yeah, so she got back to me, and I really appreciate that. And she'll be on. Dan Lanning has turned down the job. Turned down, done. He's not, which I respect him for. I feel like he's building something good there. That's not the place he should be going. So Belichick, 9 Super Bowl appearances. Saban led Alabama to 9 SEC titles and 6 national championships. And Saban succeeded Pete Carroll as the dump Ohio State secondary coach in 1980. Belichick worked with Saban in Cleveland from 91 to 94, and Belichick replaced Carroll as the Patriots head coach in 2000 before all 3 vacated their long-standing jobs in a 24-hour period. That's pretty crazy, right? I mean, that's crazy, right? Yes. I mean, 1980, Saban succeeded Pete Carroll as the Ohio State secondary coach, 1980. And Carroll doesn't sound like he wants to retire either. We're going to see what happens there. I joked that why not Saban go and coach Bama? Because some of the guys in the company Jace were saying that Dabo should be the guy, but Dabo hasn't been good in a couple years. They haven't had he went to 3 championship games, won 2. I'm not going to deny what he did. He did great things at Clemson, but I think that's kind of like run its course now. So I feel like maybe it's time to, I just don't know who they're going to get. I mean, Dan Lanning was the young guy, 37. A lot of guys have big buyouts. Is it going to be an assistant coach? Sark isn't going to leave. I was joking with Hal about that. And Quinn Ewers is coming back. I didn't know Angel is a big Texas fan. And he was saying Jonathan Brooks in the running game. And I said, I thought he was going pro, which I asked Hal, and I'm like, Hal, you're my source. But Angel said, yes, he's coming off an ACL injury, but I think a guy realizes that, this is as good as it's going to get, and go pro and see what happens there. Yeah, I didn't know he was. So Quinn Ewers is back. They said so Arch Manning has to sit another year. He goes, well, you're not a patient person. I said, I wouldn't want to sit. Well, he said he redshirted this past year. I said, still, it's sitting a second straight year. He said, Quinn Ewers always gets hurt. He said, Quinn Ewers is going to be the Heisman Trophy candidate favorite going into next season. I think he wasn't NFL ready. I think it was good for him to go back. I think that's a positive. We'll see what happens going forward. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Wink Martindale, The Giants do not owe him any money on the balance of his contract, so he's basically a free agent, could go wherever he